Yuki and John's Patreon buffet.
Oh, yes.
Yuki, do you want a vitamin water? Let's check our
vitamin.
producer. See, that's what a good producer does, is make sure that the talent is well hydrated, is comfortable. We gave you a salad earlier.
Yes.
You brought over a strawberry shortcake.
Yes.
And, you're well fed, you're well hydrated.
Yes.
But you know what else you are?
No. What?
You're well versed in a lot of art, right? You love art.
Yes.
You, as he sucks down the vitamin water, how thirsty are you, Yuki? Yuki's thirsty.
I just finished iced coffee.
Oh, that's why, because the iced coffee. So you love art, not just movies, but art in general.
Art general, yes.
And this episode of Yuki and John's podcast buffet is all about museums.
Museum, yeah.
You know, because I love art too. I'm not just a, I'm not a selfish. Wait, well, that's not the word. I'm not No, wait, what that stingy? No, I'm not stupid. I don't know, but I'm something. And I love going to museums. I love art. I love looking at sculptures and paintings and all the pencils and anything that's at a museum. So we've both been to a few museums in our times, right?
Yes, but I never been to Louvre. I want to go.
I have.
Oh.
In Paris, I went to the Louvre and I saw the Mona Lisa up front.
Wow, I see Mona Lisa when Mona Lisa came to Japan.
Oh, you did? But, so it traveled and you saw it up close.
Right, so those I can see, but
it was way smaller than I thought it would be. Before I saw it in my mind, I thought that thing was humongous. And it was really small. And that's not a bad thing. It just was like, it like sort of deflated the mystery in my mind. And then I started to look close. I'm like, wow, this is the most famous fucking piece of art in the world. And I'm actually 10 feet or less away from it. I kind of got emotional. It was like really crazy.
I know that was a limited distance, and then there's a rope.
Yeah.
And then you have to keep moving. So
that's the way you guys did it? You had to move across
we have to move. You can't stand and then... No, you just have to keep moving the line. So, that's hard because, those art is traveling, then came... And then, only stayed in Tokyo in a couple of months. So someday I like to go France and see,
besides just the Mona Lisa, that place is one of the greatest, obviously, museums I've ever been to. The structure is amazing. But also the other pieces of art in there, the Renaissance paintings and some of those humongous paintings that are bigger than 7 people. Just these big religious, some of the religious art I kind of... after a while get bored. But when I'm first seeing some of these religious pieces, they're incredible. I can't even draw a stick figure well. Imagine this person, how does an artist paint and make light look realistic?
Right.
How do you do that?
I know, it wasn't a real thing, but I went to see Michelangelo.
Where?
In Los Angeles when I was working 2 years ago.
Do you remember which museum?
Not the museum. There's the event place, and they brought all the projection.
You told me about this. They projected the Vatican.
Vatican, those murals.
The Sistine Chapel. Yeah. Holy shit.
So, but then looking at how did he measure if artwork is that big? I mean, figure is so correct. I mean, how do you make a measurement?
Right. How did he measure the ceiling?
Yeah.
And I guess maybe boxes, right? He would measure it in little cubic spaces and be like, okay, this space, this space, this space. But how did he do it? Did he sketch it first?
Right. I mean, you need to know either math or physics to calculate correct space. I mean, that was amazing. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's not like this side is too big or this side is too. No, I mean it's configuration.
Perfect.
Is perfect. And then wall. Well, I mean wall is maybe flat, but the ceiling is
curved. It's like a dome.
Yeah,
structure.
dome.
Yeah.
So how do you calculate that?
You're right. He must have been a genius, not only in art but in mathematics in some sort of way. Oh my God! Yeah, that's. I never thought of it that way. Like, how do you compensate for the curvature in the dome? That's interesting.
So that was like, oh my God! But someday I really like to go there.
I want to go there for sure. The Vatican. Yeah. What are some of the greatest museums you've ever been to, Yuki?
Okay, there's a funny bad experience. I was in Tahiti, and then I like, gee, I have to go Gauguin.
Gogol? Gauguin. Yeah.
I have to go Gauguin Museum. Right? So I went to Gauguin Museum, so. I thought then I was talking to the curator or whatever, museum people. He goes, they aren't real. I said, what? They aren't. This is the Gauguin Museum, and then this is the Tahiti. He was here. So why are you telling me this isn't real? What happened was his artwork is all over the world. Louvre or Met.
Yeah.
And then I said, why? Because he was having an affair, so he wasn't well received in Tahiti. So his artwork, nobody cared. So when they made the Gauguin Museum, they didn't have any real work. So all replicas, they just displaying it. And they told me to go Louvre, Met, Boston Museum.
So you were looking at fakes?
They don't have real Gauguin artwork.
Oh my God.
That's holy shit.
What the fuck? You ever see that Orson Welles documentary, F for Fake?
Oh, yeah.
All about the greatest forger in the world?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So they forged the guy's own work in his own museum.
They don't have the other thing, yeah.
Wow.
Because he wasn't well received in Tahiti because he was having an affair with some this friend's wife or French lady or something, and then.
What do you think, Yuki? Do you think that if you get like a really good fake, that's art? Like somebody who could really replicate a perfect replication of original artwork, is that art as well? Or is that a criminal activity in your mind?
Well, in the criminal activity, but if as good as real thing.
Yes, if it's as good or close to as good.
Close is good. It's a some kind of artwork, I think.
I think so too. I think sometimes, imitation is the best form of flattery.
Right.
But, that's the imitation sometimes. If you can imitate something to perfection, that's art. That's the
Just
perfect
like
imitation.
The Thing. If you are perfect imitation, how do you know it's real, right?
Exactly. Wilford Brimley, he knew. He fucking knew that thing wasn't the perfect piece of art. He was ready to hang himself with that noose in that room. What do you think at the end of the Thing? Do you think either of the guys were the Thing, or do you think they weren't the Thing? Talking about art, that's a great piece of art.
I think he was the Thing.
Which one? Kurt Russell or
No,
Keith David?
Keith
Keith David. So people say that the key to the Thing at the end is to watch the breath. The Kurt Russell is breathing and drinking, and
Right.
you can tell he's human. And Keith David is very measured in his whatever, and there's no real breath coming out. So people say that he's the Thing because yeah. That's what they say. Anyway, back to museums. So New York has some of the best museums in the world.
Met.
The Met is an incredible journey. I mean, not just the paintings and stuff, but the suits of armor,
Yeah.
the weapons.
God. I just why I was looking at the armor.
You went to the Met to research?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that was last two year.
Last year. Yeah, they have all the suits of armor. They also have Egyptian mummies and shit in there.
Egyptian.
I love that, the big statues, but the thing about the armor when I went to the Met that got me.
Those medieval times, right?
Yeah, they had the medieval weapons,
medieval
but the suits of armor were so small.
Yeah.
And even small for modern time, those guys were tiny. So we've only been getting bigger and fatter as we go along. The Met, the Met's an amazing time. Right. You got the MoMA, of course, Museum of Modern Art.
And then I like Flick.
Which one's that?
Flick Museum, Fritz Museum,
I don't know that one. Frick. I don't know where that one is. I don't know if I've been to that one. What's in there?
I saw there the girl with the pearl earring.
Oh, they had that there?
Yeah.
That's one of the most famous ones as well. Holy shit. Did you get emotional?
Yeah, I liked it. And I liked the movie.
Yeah. With
Scarlett
Johansson.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then so I
And then
don't
they
know
did
if
the porno
keep-
version, girl with the pearl necklace.
Really?
No,
Oh,
but we should. I mean, that's art. You think porno's art? I think it's art.
you think so?
Sometimes when they like have the good dialogue,
Like a deep throat?
yeah, that's art because that's that amazing scene in there where she's giving him, oral.
That's a great shot in the mouth, right?
Yeah, and then
very
but then they
creative,
show
yeah.
like the rocket launching. Yeah.
That was very creative.
That's a
and funny.
creative.
It's a bit- yeah.
So I've never been to the Guggenheim in New York. That's one because every time I wanted to go, it was under construction. So that's one I definitely have to go to. The Whitney is a really cool
Whitney,
museum. I went there once and they had all this psychedelic art from the 60s. That was amazing. All these crazy posters and just crazy things that happened in the 60s. Museum of the Moving Image is right here in Astoria, Queens.
Right.
I know that you went there a few
Yes.
times.
I mean, Jesse? What's his
Jesse,
name?
the curator, Jesse
Yeah,
Burbage.
Jesse, yeah.
The great, he's a curator over there at the Museum of Moving Image, does disreputable cinema and screens a lot of stuff.
Shitstorm premiere there, right?
That's right. We had hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm premiere at the Museum of Moving Image.
After that, I went to see some movie. Then he said, "Are you Yuki? Are you Yuki?" Like he knew. Like, well, how do you know? I'm nobody because we had a shitstorm premiere here.
And Jesse's a fan of The Last Drive-In. Yeah.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, but a great guy, like knows so much about movies and stuff, and curates a lot of that stuff.
He said, "Hey, you guys, if you want to see any movie, just let me know. Like, it's free for us."
The perks of being a Yuki Nakamura. That's nice. But wait, didn't you go and see Nosferatu?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And you saw it with a live
Music.
That's
yeah.
really cool. I like that a lot. Over there at the Museum of Moving Image, anybody who comes to New York, take the trip to Astoria because if you're a movie fan, there's so much in there. They have not only do they have the Jim Henson collection of all the Muppets and stuff,
Right.
but besides that, they have all sorts of other things on display like these amazing cameras throughout the history. They have all the original cameras, the silent film cameras, the 35 millimeter, all the cameras. You could walk through a whole museum of cameras. Besides that, they have all these like miniature things that people used to use, like Henry Selick stuff, all these for stop motion puppets and stuff, all the heads and all the things. On top of that, they have things like the Jaws from Godfather.
Oh really?
Yeah, Marlon Brando's cheap
those.
installments. They have mass molds of Mrs. Doubtfire's head, the head of Chewbacca, all of these awesome movie things on display. It's a great place to go.
It's permanently displaying those, right?
Yes. Well, I heard Liz Shack said that the jowls of the Godfather, Marlon Brando, have been traveling lately. They went
Really?
away from the Museum of the Moving Image. That's why, because I think last time we went there and they weren't on display at the moment, and they've been traveling around, just much like the Mona Lisa.
Oh.
And what's some other museum experiences you've had?
Well, you just mentioned Jim Henson.
Yeah.
He has a foundation. Then some Jim Henson. I didn't work with him because he was dead by that time. But I worked his relative, and then puppet show.
Brian Henson?
Yeah.
Really?
I was touring Chinese puppet.
And what did Brian Henson do? Produce it?
No, that was a part of a children theater or a puppet festival or some kind of the puppet world puppet festival or something.
Holy shit.
So, I met him, yeah.
He directed a great Muppet movie, the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, that he directed it?
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. So you met, that's legacy right there.
Legacy, huh?
Forget it. People say Nepo babies, but fucking Brian Henson, fuck that shit. He's an amazing director and filmmaker in his own right.
Yeah, and then I did some puppet work. Then a couple of years ago, I did the show called off-Broadway show, something. Christian Andersen.
Hans Christian Andersen.
I did the off-Broadway show, and then there was a puppet in the show. So the guy named Craig Marine, or this is another famous puppeteer, and then I worked with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Hans Christian Andersen. Did they have the songs?
Yeah, that was the music.
Yeah,
and then
Hans Christian Andersen, that's me. Yeah.
I did the prop design for that show.
Wow. But didn't you make a duck?
Oh, that's that was a duck.
You made a duck, a remote control duck that was able to run around the
Right,
stage?
because this set designer, she's a good, she does design, but she was like 70-some years old, and then, she called me like, oh, can you do props? I say, yeah. And then, can you make a duck, moving duck? Like, you talking about the mechanical duck, then I'm wrong guy. I do just the props. I don't make the mechanical prop.
Right.
And then whole budget just to go one prop. Then you don't have other props. So then I thought about it, and the next day I called her back. I can't make the mechanical duck, but this is what I can do. Buy those stuffed duck.
Yeah.
And then you cut it open, take all the stuff out.
Yeah.
Then put the radio
control
cars, and you have a moving duck. She liked it, so she hired me. So I really didn't. I bought the toy, radio control car.
Yeah.
I bought the duck and then cut open, put the stuff out, cover the moving cars, and there is a moving duck.
Wow. That's ingenuity, Yuki. That's a piece of art. A moving duck. Yeah, a moving duck. Piece of art.
So they hired me, so I did that off-Broadway show, prop show.
That's amazing. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So in LA, some people say that there's no culture. The culture is shitty culture out there, right?
You mean Los Angeles?
Yeah. I highly disagree. Do you? Do you think that it's this culture? It's beautiful things out there, especially in terms of like museums and stuff.
Well, I wouldn't say no culture, but I think New York has a more different race.
Oh no, yeah. As far as a melting pot, Queens, New York is supposedly the most diverse county in the entire United States.
Right, because first couple of years I worked with like a filmmaker from Italy, France, Russia, 4 or 5. But if you're in LA, maybe working with Chicanos, Mexican American. That's about it.
Yeah.
So it's really less. I wouldn't say boring, but working here is more exciting because you have a more chance to meet, from more, especially close to Europe. So.
But did you ever go to any of the museums out in LA?
Well, but what is the museum? There's only 1-2 museums.
They got the Skirball. They got the one that's on the hill. I forgot the one that's called. The one that's on the hill. LACMA. LACMA.
Yeah. That's it. And then they have a annex in Malibu. There is a...
Yeah, they have that. Then they also have, Ripley's Believe It or Not. That's a museum.
That's a museum?
Yeah, of course it's a museum.
That's like a tourist spot.
Just because it's tourist doesn't make it not a museum. What about the Madame Tussauds House of Wax? That's a museum.
Oh, wow.
What do you do then?
Okay, it's a museum, but it's not like a Met or Louvre.
No, but, sometimes high art, sometimes you want to watch a Bergman movie, and sometimes you want to watch Freddy Krueger kill some motherfucker. It's like that,
Well, I mean, they have now an Academy Museum, but...
there you go.
The movie museum, but we have a moving image, so...
Yeah, well, one of the best museums I ever went to in my life was in L.A.
Well, what's...
Culver City. It's called the Museum of Jurassic Technology.
I never heard.
Nobody has. I mean, maybe there's some people out there who've heard of it, and I don't know if it's still there. I don't know if it survived.
Right.
The
what kind of museum?
The most odd shit ever. Let me describe one of the things that was there. So it's this it's a nice little space, small but still, a bunch of rooms and a bunch of things on display. One of the things, it was a lot of stuff like this. There was a line of 8 microscopes on 2 sides of a table, so 4 on one side, 4 on the other. and you walk up to the exhibit, which is the microscopes on the table, and it has these little cards to explain what's going on. And you look inside, and in the microscope image is like a barnyard scene of like chickens and pigs and stuff, but it was all made by the scales of butterfly wings. So this guy devoted his life to art, microscopic art, by using different colored scales from butterfly wings that he would then put together to make these like scenes.
Wow.
It was fucking amazing. And look, I'm not gonna lie, I was high as fuck when I was there. But if you go and you see the fact that this dude was able to use these little tweezers to make these intricate scenes of animals and things like that, I was blown away.
This thing is permanent or temporary?
It was permanent. That exhibit was permanent there. I don't, and like I said, I don't know if Museum of Jurassic Technology is still even a thing. I went there 10, 20 years ago. I don't even remember when I went, but when I was living in LA.
Still there, I hope.
Let's see, Museum of Jurassic Technology. But it was all stuff like that. But then when you get to the end, you go up to upstairs and you go down this long hallway with like candles on the walls, on these like candelabras. And you have tea and cookies. They give you free tea and free cookies. Well, not free. It probably isn't baked into the price of admission. But you have like a little tea. You talk about what you saw. You eat the little biscuits. But you want to know what happened? I was walking down the hallway, and this guy was like in the hallway. He must have been confused or something. And he went to get out of the way of these two women, and he backed up, and the back of his hair touched one of the candles, and it went on fire. Hit the back of his hair went, and it went on fire. It went on fire, and all of a sudden we're like, "Your head!" Me and my friend Lindsay, we were like, "Your head!" And he was like, "Ah!" And he smacked it out. And then we were like, "Are you okay? You need us to get water?" And it was like, "No, it's okay." And he was like, "Oh, it's smell," and it started to smell. And then he looks at it, and he goes, "That must have been awesome for you guys to see that happen." We were like, well, now that you're okay, yeah, it was kind of awesome to see your head go on fire, but we were hoping that you weren't going to fucking burst into flames at the end of this stupid tour. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that was his first thought. That must have been awesome. Wow. His head went on fire. So let's see. Museum, MUSEUM of Jurassic. Oh my God, the website's still up. Hey, it says, the museum is now open by advanced registration only. Click here to join your visit today. That's what it says. So you have to. It says it's open.
Oh.
Visitor information, Yuki.
Maybe next time I go then.
The museum is open Thursday and Friday from 2 to 8. Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 6 p.m. The museum has instituted an online reservation and time ticketing system to ensure the greatest possible safety and experience for our patrons. Holiday hours 2022. So yeah, it's still, as far as 2022, it was still open.
Okay.
Adults are $12. Good price. And yeah, there's all sorts of stuff like a duck with teeth. A duck grew.
Duck doesn't have teeth.
This duck did. No, I just made that up. It didn't have to. I just made that up.
Okay.
But the other things are true, like oddities and crazy stuff. It was really cool. So anybody out there in LA, I highly check it.
I go check.
What about other museums throughout the world? Because I went to like museums in San Francisco, Chicago, all sorts.
I went to Boston Museum. That was cool.
Boston.
And then I went to museum in Chicago. Oh my God,
that's a great one.
They have a cut of the body.
Yes, I've seen that.
You see, right?
Yeah.
This way.
It's Bodyworks.
Yeah,
so
and this way.
They used to tour with Bodyworks, and I couldn't believe some of the shit that they were doing with the human body.
Yeah.
But there's a permanent Bodyworks in that museum. I went to that museum.
Oh, I saw
Chicago art.
What was that?
I forgot what the exact title was.
Chicago, what? Science Museum?
Something like that.
Natural Museum or something,
Yeah. Oh, there's another one to mention. The Museum of Natural History with all the fucking whales and dinosaurs
Right,
and all that shit.
Here, right?
That's right here.
Yeah,
It's an amazing...
I'm a member, though.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh my God! You go and look at the dinosaurs a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm a member of a Met.
Oh, you're a member of Met.
Yeah.
So that human body works in Chicago. The one that freaked me out was the human nervous system. It's just this intricate wiring of like,
Right.
imagine like the fucking human nervous system is just existed on its own, and it was just like this crazy wiring of like
Yeah.
human like nerves and woo. Yeah, that freaked me out.
Yeah, but that was interesting.
That was really interesting.
Yeah.
Another one that I went to, it was in San Francisco. I forgot the exact name of it, but it's one of the big San Francisco museums. And it was an exhibit of this guy, Chihuly. Chihuly specializes in glass blowing. So you heat up the glass and you blow it and you make shapes out of it and stuff and you manipulate it and then you color it, whatever. This guy, the shit that was on display in this place was insane. It was like underwater scenes. Like he made basically like the sea floor but made out of glass. And things like that. Things were hanging from the ceiling, like different beings and beasts, and it was amazing. Chihuly. Anybody who wants to go and check out this psychedelic crazy shit, yeah, it was amazing. Who's the statue guy? Degas,
and then Rodin.
Rodin. So I think Degas was the one. I went to see an exhibit of him. Tim Burton Experience. They had all the Tim Burton props at MoMA at one time. That was really cool. So many things to see and do at museums, right, Yuki?
And then I saw Frida.
Oh, you went to a Frida?
Frida did couple different one. Then I went to Brooklyn Museum, and then I went to other places. I mean, you know, her artwork is traveling all over.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Who was your favorite artist? Do you have one?
I like Picasso and then Van Gogh and.
You went to Amsterdam to see the Van Gogh Museum? They call him Van Gogh over there, but it's Van Gogh. I say Van Gogh.
No, I never been to.
He has his own museum out there.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Go,
oh, you should.
Yeah, so that's why I have to go. You know, France, and then I mean.
Yeah. I went to Amsterdam, and I said, you know what? I can't smoke weed all day. I got to go and do something nice. So we went to the Heineken Museum. So we saw how they brew the Heineken brewery and all that stuff. And then we went to the Van Gogh Museum.
Oh, yeah. I need to do that.
You should.
And then I went to 3 museums in Japan when I was there this time. 3 different museums and then 3 different Picasso. So
what? So you saw? Oh, I wonder if I ever saw a Picasso in real life. I think I may have, but I don't remember. You got up close to the Picassos?
Yeah, and then there's you know the Clouseau, the French director who made Diabolique,
yeah,
and then
Wages of Fear. Yeah,
he made documentary about the Picasso.
Oh,
and that was a fantastic documentary. And then I don't know why he did that, but. That was a very famous documentary about the Picasso, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want to watch that. I love Clouseau. That's so cool. I don't know, Yuki, what's another, what can we do here? And is there any other museums that we haven't been to in New York?
I never been to, but there's a ramen museum in Tokyo.
Ramen?
Yeah.
Like ramen noodles? What? How do you do a ramen? Do they make art out of the ramen, or?
Well, it's more like cup noodle thing. Cup noodle.
Yeah.
So you can make your own cup noodle there. I mean, they show you how to make cup noodles.
Wow.
And then you can make your own cup noodle if you pay like I don't know, $5 and $10 and something.
All right. What about the Museum of Sex? I know that's here in New York.
Yeah, but I never been there, so I don't know.
Museum of Death in L.A.
Oh, no, I never been there.
No. Liz Shack went there, and she had a mug, and I think I broke it.
What?
I'm sorry.
No, is it the Museum of Death or Museum of Sex?
They're both.
Both?
Museum of Sex is here in New York. Museum of Death is in L.A.
Okay. I haven't been in both, but Museum of Sex interesting. I mean, what kind of display? Then you can see...
Dildos, condoms, the fake vagina. I don't know. I've never been there, but I heard that.
Well, you just said you've been there.
No, wait, did I? No, I said Liz Shack was at the death one.
Oh, this okay.
We haven't been to the sex one.
I'm wondering what the hell.
Oh, Liz Shack went to the sex one too.
You did?
I did go to the sex museum.
Oh,
yes.
That's what they have.
They have a bouncy house that's made out of tits.
A bouncy house made out of tits?
What do you mean?
You know, the children's bounce houses where they go and jump in the,
So kids...
No, this one's not for kids.
It's for adults. It's for adults.
Okay.
I think there's an age limit to this museum.
Oh, really? What else they have? Just to...
They honor a lot of impressive porn stars. There was a deep throater.
But they don't have a dildo or anything.
Oh, they do.
They
Tons.
do?
Oh, yeah.
Condoms?
Yes. Different kinds. Yeah.
Wow.
They have Jello shots that are in the
Really?
shape of a clitoris.
Jello shots in the shape of a clitoris.
But they should have Georgia O'Keeffe in there because she did vagina flowers, right?
That's right.
What?
They should have a vagina flowers. What about the Museum of Death? What happened over there?
Oh, that was one of my favorite experiences.
What they have? What they showing?
A lot of serial killer memorabilia. So,
those.
So lots of that. They had Jane Mansfield's taxidermy dog.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was owned by Anton LaVey.
Oh.
He donated, or his estate donated a lot to the museum. They had Gigi Allen they honored there. Tiny Tim they honored there. It was very
Tiny Tim, yeah.
I took my cousin there, and she
Right, because
was
some
mad.
people don't know that Tiny Tim died on stage.
He did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, you said your cousin got mad?
Yeah, I was visiting my cousin in LA, and it was one of the things I wanted to do. And I took her and her boyfriend I just met for the first time, and they were very angry when we left because
Because you took them to this museum?
yeah, it's graphic to say the least, but I loved it.
Oh, I went to the Hiroshima atomic
Oh.
bomb thing. That was first time, so
Wow, that must have been some.
it's a depressing though.
So
yeah,
depressing.
Yeah.
What about planetariums? Are they? Is that a planetarium or is it a museum? Like, is a planetarium a museum or is it just a planetarium?
Yeah, I went to one,
The New York planet. I love that shit. Oh,
the Griffith Park.
Griffith Park Planetarium.
Yeah.
But is a museum a planetarium or a planet? Wait, is a planetarium a
definitely.
museum?
I don't know.
No,
You
it's
just
a
see the
planetarium.
show. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's on.
You see the show. I used to love that. There was one that was narrated by Tom Hanks.
Oh, really?
And he's like, "There's so many stars in the galaxy that I'm Tom Hanks." And I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy!" And then I thought to myself, "Is a planetarium a museum?" And I just didn't know.
I always thought just event place. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the sky.
Right. All right, Yuki. Any other thoughts on museums or anything else? Art? Any? You know.
I don't know. It's fascinating, but I mean, I'm not all around. I care about only certain artists. Like you said, I like Doga.
Yeah.
Picasso, Van Gogh.
Yeah.
I think you just have a favorite artist, and unless you study, you don't need to follow every artist. I think.
No, you find what you like, and then you follow that, and then that might lead you down other roads like Paul Klee and things like that. Chuck Close, all sides. You ever see Chuck Close's stuff?
No.
He's the guy who does like little small dots, and then when you get bigger, it's like a huge thing that looks like a real thing, but it's when you get really close, it's just like dots and shit.
Yeah. No.
Or pictures. Yeah. Another museum that I went to just to close this all out in Las Vegas, the Mob Museum.
Oh.
Liz Shack's great advice was the Mob Museum. And we went, and it was fucking insane. It was all about the Prohibition and the mob and the this and that and the other thing. It was amazing. Yeah. So anybody out there who wants to have a great experience in LA that's not gambling or losing money or having a prostitute give you AIDS, go to the Mob Museum.
Well, maybe when we go this October.
If we go in October, I think that's what we're going to do is go to the Mob Museum, baby. Because we did this thing. There are these extra things that you could do. And we went to one of them, which was like a firearms training, a virtual firearms training. And it was fucking scary because Liz and I strapped on some guns. We went and they took us to these different rooms where you like shoot at the TV screens and stuff.
Oh.
And then the last room was a real person. And me and Liz had to pretend that we were cops.
Oh.
And we had to talk this person, because in Nevada, it's open carry. You could carry a gun legally.
Nevada legal?
Yeah, if you have permits, proper permits. So what the whole thing was, the guy has a gun. He said that somebody stole his car or something, but you had to convince him to drop the weapon and come with you and figure it out, so that because you're the law enforcement. And the guy was really standing there with the fucking gun, and it was really scary because he's like, I'm not putting my gun down. This motherfucker stole my shit. And I was like, sir, please put your gun down. It's an experiment. This is not real. You know, I was saying all this shit. It was crazy.
But they're all the scripted.
Well, they're scripted. You're not. You have to like figure out the situation. And then finally, the guy, because it was like noon. We didn't know what it was going to be. And then at the end, the guy was like, that was crazy. Because we had such an intense back and forth. It was really, yeah. He's like, it's too early for this shit.
I mean, it's staged, but what's going on is real.
Yes, it's a real situation. It really feels tense. And anyway, that was Museums with Yuki Nakamura and John Brennan and Liz Shack. Thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it at the podcast buffet.
Yeah, museum is a good place to kill time. Yeah,
kill time. And sometimes the crowds are too much, so go on like a Tuesday or a Monday. Sometimes they're free.
Right.
So anybody out there who wants to help and support us at the Patreon buffet, you can come and see us.
Yes.
Yuki and John's Patreon buffet. We have all sorts of shows.
Yes.
You can come and visit us at Bad Techno and at Tokyo Cowboy Yuki on Instagram and Twitter. And see us on The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs.
Joe Bob, yeah.
And then what else? We have other future plans, right?
We do.
Thank you. See you next time at the buffet.
Buffet.
Yuki and John, Patreon buffet.